Hello and welcome to this Photoshop tutorial. In this tutorial what we're going to do is look at removing this person from the background using a technique using the colour channels. So first things first, we need to double click on the layer and unlock it, hitting OK. And what we're going to do is select channels from over here on the right hand side. So what you need to do is click on each channel, looking at the contrast between the background and the subject, and you want to select the channel with the best contrast between the subject and the background, so having the lightest background with the darkest possible foreground. So in this scenario it's the blue layer. So what we're going to do is drag the blue channel down to the create new channel button down here and let go, and then we have a new duplicate copy created. So the first thing we're going to do is edit the levels, and you can do that by pressing Ctrl and L on your keyboard, and then this screen will appear. You can see as we monitor and change the input levels, you can see that the subject will darken. So if we increase this slightly, changing each layer, bringing this one down, and you'll see that the background will lighten. If you do it too much, you'll find that you'll get some horrible pixelation. So be careful with sort of how drastically you do change these. That will probably do. Hit OK. What we then need to do is these parts of the background here that are slightly darker, we need to lighten these up, and we can do that by using the dodge tool. So on the left hand side here, if you click and hold here, you've got the dodge tool with it set to highlights up the top here, with an exposure of around about around about 20%. You can see as I begin to left click, this area here is lightening. So what we're trying to do is get as much contrast between the foreground and the background, and you just work on all of these layers like so. And there you can see it's a nice and white background with a dark foreground. So we're going to do the opposite to the subject now. We're going to change this tool to the burn tool in the same menu as the dodge tool, and we're going to just, using the burn tool, darken our subject as much as we possibly can. And in fact what you can do is just select your brush, select it in the menu, or select B on the keyboard, and we're just going to completely darken the image so it's like a silhouette. I'm just going to undo that. So what we're doing is we're making the subject as dark as possible and the background as light as possible. If you hit Ctrl and I to invert, you can see if you've missed any areas. And there we have it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make our selection of this subject. So you're going to Control and click the layer, and you'll see that the selection's been made. We need to then invert the layer. So we're going to go Select and Inverse. So now we've got our subject selected. You're going to bring back all the other layers, all the other channels, sorry, and go to your Layers tab. You hit Ctrl and J to duplicate the layer with the selection made. There we go, Ctrl and J. We can then unview this layer, and you can see now that we've got our transparent background. But this red sort of hue, we can get rid of that very easily by clicking on channels, unticking that layer, and there you have it. Zoom in slightly, you can see that it has picked up all the details of the hair and removed the background, and you can now put that image anywhere you like, and that's using the channels technique. Thank you for watching.